Often what happens when people come and see it for the first time is they say, I've never seen anything like that in my life. For the past 30 years I've been making puppet shows in Chicago. I started as a puppeteer when I was a kid. Around 10 or 11, I started to build some puppets and work with some store-bought puppets and made puppet shows for about 3 or 4 years. I had a company. And then I stopped doing puppet theater as a kid and got involved in the Actors Theater to a degree. After college, I came to Chicago to work as a director in the Actors Theater. After about 4 or 5 years, became a little disillusioned with that and had an opportunity to make an original piece, and I went back to puppetry in my late 20s. So my name is Blair Thomas, and I'm a puppeteer. And on this production of Mr. and Mrs. Pennyworth, I am the puppet designer, and it's being produced by the Looking Glass Theater for the Chicago International Puppet Theater Festival in January. Usually I work on only the productions that I'm making for my own company, so to make puppets for someone else's show is something I don't do too often, but I have to say it's a great relief to only work on the puppets and not have to worry about the rest of the show. So what it allows me to do is to indulge in design and the execution of design in a way that I actually don't let myself do on my own shows because I'm so preoccupied with so many parts of the show. Chicago has a pretty vibrant puppetry scene for the United States. New York has more. But we are a city that's really poised to host such an event as this festival because we have a huge indigenous theater audience, not a tourist theater audience. People who live in Chicago and the area love to go to see live theater. And we've had a very positive response to the festival. The first year we had over 14,000 people who came to see performances during the 10 days. If you haven't been going to see puppetry since you were a kid, then you've got a great surprise for you by coming to any of the offerings at the festival. I have normal-sized puppet dolls that are being used, but also larger, and there's a large costume puppet that's in the end is about 10 or 12 feet long. It's a very large puppet. What ends up happening is you have this live aesthetic that's a storytelling technique that really is transportative. You're in a space you're in the presence of the puppet, and the puppet, as an adult, you look at it and you go, I know that's not alive. But if the puppet has been well designed and is being well performed, you start to be deceived because you say, oh, I recognize that movement. In fact, oh, that looks very much like the movement of a wolf, or that looks like the movement of a small figure, and you believe for a second, and then you're like, no, I don't believe, and then you believe, and then you don't believe, and you don't believe, and you go back and forth like this, and then you start to become entranced by the performance, and this is one of the phenomena of puppetry that works an audience today. I'm also the founder and artistic director of the Chicago International Puppet Theater Festival. And this is Machete, my cat. What do you have to say, Machete? That's it? Where have I been?